Welcome back, everybody. Today I'm going over a game between Magnus Carlsen and Vishi. This is a rapid game taking place in 2005, 19 years ago. Let's dive right into it. Starts off with e4, e5, knight f3, knight f6. It's a Petrov. We have knight takes in the center, pawn pushes the knight back to where it was, and then knight takes. So Vishi, playing white, attacks Magnus's knight in the center. Magnus trades off, and Vishi takes out, not towards the center, which is not as common, but we'll see bishop out by Magnus, bishop out by Vishi, and Magnus castles, and then Vishi plays queen d2, preparing to castle queenside. So we have knight d7, and and Vishi castles queenside. So his queen and rook are lined up on this file, and it looks like he's going to have a lot of easy development here for Vishi, and Magnus is going to have a tough time. So Magnus jumps his knight out to the middle of the board, and Vishi plays h4, hitting on the king's side, where Magnus's king is weak. So we have Magnus's bishop pinning the knight to the rook, and we have h5 by Vishi. Magnus technically has a better position here, but he has to defend with h6 or play bishop f6. But instead of one of those two moves, he decides to play rook e8. So it's pretty much equal right here. And Vishi keeps on attacking, bringing his bishop out to c4. So he just keeps on developing his pieces. Magnus pushes his pawn. Vishi takes, trading everything down in the center. The queens are traded. Another pair of bishops are traded. So it's bishops and knights. And we have pretty much the same pawn structure, except Vishi is up one pawn, which are doubled on the c file. And he has one really far h pawn. So we'll see how it turns out. Magnus decides to trade a knight for a bishop. Very interesting, doubling the f pawns. So we have rook over, and then rook back. Now we have b5 by Magnus, trying to kick out this bishop, getting it to move somewhere maybe, but not exactly what Magnus was thinking. At least I think. Maybe he knew, but we have rook d1. Letting go of that because we have takes, and it would be checkmate. So what he does instead is he decides to trade down now. So we take back. Now the knight's being hit, the bishop's being hit. What happens? Knight back. Okay, now we play bishop back, and we keep the pieces on the board. So we have pawn forwards, pawn takes, pawn, the bishop takes the pawn, and we have rook to the center of the board by Magnus, hitting this pawn, defending this pawn. It looks really good so far right now by Magnus, but then c4 hits the center, defends the bishop, hits the pawn, defends the bishop, and we have king walk over by Magnus. Now, pawn c5, now it's a passing pawn, which is amazing for Magnus, but this is also a passer, but we have a rook behind it, so it's probably not going to promote. We have d4 by Magnus. I don't think that was the best idea, but it's really hard to see right now, especially in this endgame. b4, amazing accuracy by Vishi, and we have a5 by Magnus. And we have to play a3 to keep the advantage here, because now when Magnus trades, we have two passers, connected passed pawns, which are very important for this endgame. Then we have Magnus jumping in, knight attacking this b4 pawn, then Vishi defends it with the rook and taking the pawn. Magnus takes the other pawn. So we have two passers, two stacked pawns versus three pawns that have not moved from their starting squares. And he keeps on pushing this pawn. Magnus here has to play rook b6, knight b6 to stay in the game. Although he does not find it, he plays king e7. And after Vishi plays this brilliant move, rook takes d5, Magnus Carlsen resigns. That might look odd because after you take it, push, and now you actually can't move your king in to defend. You have to play rook d8. I'm pretty sure you can play rook here too. Oh no, pawn just takes, sorry. You have to play rook d8. After pawn takes, rook takes. It's now a piece for a pawn, which the pawn he was already up. So it's really just a piece for free. And they're grandmasters. They can obviously convert this to a win. and that's why Magnus had to resign in this position where he got his rook, well, where he got his knight taken. Magnus just resigns. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.